Hello everyone, my name is Magdala Ramirez and I come from the Maya Mexica tradition. Today we're going to be talking about the writings that the ancestors left behind in this very, very powerful time and space of humanity. What is going on and how to understand these times? It is imperative. Well, there is all these forces that it is pulling you down into the third dimensional reality, and yet there is this other force that it is calling you to understand and see a higher way of living, a higher way of understanding yourself. We have many radio talks where we talk about the identity that you have within and how to change that perception of yourself. And I really recommend for the people to check it out, those ones, because in this time and space, that knowledge is very, very imperative. There is so much commotion in the systems in the world. That patriarchal system is crumbling, and it is happening also within your own self because the system has been also inside of you. When that it is being crumbled, there is many people who ask me, okay, if I let go this, what I'm gonna put in that space? What do I'm gonna fulfill that? Well, you do have a light body and you are light. You're gonna fulfill it naturally by light, by a truth that it has always been inside of you. That truth that it is guiding you to a higher understanding of yourself. There is so many cultures and traditions everywhere in the world, many religions. As I remind you, it's the divine feminine has not come in here to destroy any religion or tradition, but to consummate them. Means that in the very, very beginning, there was only one knowledge, and that one knowledge, it was everywhere in the world, not just in our tradition. And that knowledge, it was interpreted in a very, very different ways. And that's why you see different traditions, different understandings of the same knowledge. Everything, it is part of the whole. And you are part of the whole. Because in the one is contained the whole, and the whole is contained the one. In this time and space when there is so much separation and so much distortions, there is this force that it is coming forward from that true human being. Some of them, they call it the rainbow warriors. Some of them, they have many names everywhere. But it is people that it is able to see beyond that little culture or their little tradition and be able to embrace a higher culture, a higher understanding of how to live, a different way of living. It is a natural understanding in this time and space. I mean, the animals are feeling it. The animals, the plants are feeling it. Everything is changing and transmuting, and in some way or another, uncovering their original medicine, a medicine that it has been so profanated for such a long time. For human beings, it's the same thing. You are remembering different skills that you have, different powers that you have, and yet they are all connected to the whole and for the highest good of everyone. Means that there is a part of you that knows how to do this. Means it's a time that you trust yourself, a time that you embrace exactly who you are and remembering and begin to point it out where it is this knowledge everywhere in the world. and feeling that unity for many, many traditions and religions. People has been obsessed for such a long, long time. Humanity was about wars and destructions, was about that separation, brother against brother. And that has come into a very distorted pain and separation. There is this thick layer of separation. There is this thick layer of pain that people have and inherit in many ways, thinking that that pain has defined them, that that pain is the one that it is ruling their lives, instead of seeing beyond the pain. Look around you. I have never met somebody that it doesn't have any kind of pain. Look around you. There has been so much distortions, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So it is not about to avoiding the pain, but to how do you relate with the pain, what it creates a big, big difference. When you can see that thick layer of separation within yourself, you know that beyond that thick layer there is this place of oneness. There is a place where it wasn't pain, your identity or defining yourself or defining your tribe. It was a knowledge. It was an understanding of how to be a true human being. The relationship with your environment, with each other, and of course the relationship with yourself in that freedom that you have always been. That beautiful human being, it is still there, and it is in you. What do you want to perpetuate and pass it on to your children? Do you want to pass it on to your children, all this pain? Or you want to address the pain and be brave and face that pain of separation so you can see what it is beyond that pain. That part of you that it doesn't matter the pain, you still are gonna love. You still will understand that you have always been loved as it was in the very, very beginning. I live in this time and space, in this very powerful place in New Mexico. It's an old ancient place, the place of the ancestors. I know that the ancestors are everywhere, but in some way or another, when I go into my adventures looking for petroglyphs, the message is very, very prevalent. The portals that we call portals, that it is very much in raising your consciousness to understand a higher truth and remember, very much uncovering this place in you when you can remember beyond that thick layer of separation. Just in the same way that many tribes and many religions everywhere in the world have different ways of expressing the same knowledge, the same way it is for all human beings. That path that you have is so unique that nobody can see it but you. Everyone has a different path, different skills. It is the Great Mother in them, as it is in you, as it is in me. Different aspects that all point into the same beautiful understanding of who you are as a true human being. And instead of fighting with each other or fighting with yourself, when you are able to uncover that true human being in you, You know what to do in this time and space. Trusting is very, very important. Living in that entrega, it's very, very important. Because when you are in that point in you, you suddenly have this incredible force, this passion, that it is coming from within, and it is able to move all these layers of pain and suffering and find that beautiful, beautiful understanding that you are light. Where you want to go? Where you want to go? You live in that light. You are that light, and everyone else is too. And that's the beauty of this. There is this sensation of separation and loneliness when you hold on as a religion or tradition, thinking that it is the only truth available. And maybe it is only for you. Maybe it is something that you do want to question this and understand that uniqueness that you are. When you are awakened in this beautiful empathic way that it is natural for human being, you do can feel the other person. You do can feel the vibrations, not by the voice or a language, but the non-written language, encoding that vibration, that it is so completely abstract, and that comes from your essence. Recognizing that abstract world and being okay with it, being understanding with it. You will organize in certain ways in your mind that you can put it in words maybe, but it still is so much to say, so much to do, and all this is coming because you are love. And the situation about this is when you see yourself as love, you do emanate that love for everyone. And some people see it, and some people don't. Some people feel it, some people don't. And you need to be okay with it. That love comes back to you. And it is a flow. That is where the flow is. That recognition that you are love, willing to share with everyone around you, it truly creates a whole new vibration. There is so much in the people moving that programming that impedes them to feel that love, to recognize love. Even in the most dark places, still can see that there is love, even if it is distorted. You still recognize it, and you tap into it in one way or the other, and transmute it, and clean it, and see a higher understanding of who you are and what you have always been. Remembering these places within your own self that you have always been. There is no separation. There has never been any separation. And in this time and space, it doesn't separate the time. It is the time where you trust yourself no matter what. That redemption, it is happening within you, and being able to see a higher truth about you. When I feel every sacred place everywhere in the world, I can understand it and relate, because I can see the same knowledge happening into the expression that knowledge that it comes from that stillness heart, that stillness mind in you, recognizing the essence of all the vibration, and recognizing too the sacred movement, the expression of that stillness, the expression of that feminine and masculine walking together and seeing beyond any distortion that it has always been. We are right now in this powerful wave, the wave of Mikixli, that it is showing that in order to go up, you do need to understand that underworld. And in that underworld, there is many things that you need to face and remove. It is a cleaning purification time, and trusting yourself and trusting the times that it is going to be better. Why? Because you are creating it better. Because you are manifesting better once you pass through that purification time where you leave behind all these distortions, all what it was imposed by the system. And now you're recognizing your own divinity, if we can put it that way. That true human being, it is in you. It is in me. It is in everywhere around you. Can you see beyond that thick layer of separation and understand and embrace that world of oneness that it has always been there? Can you see that next step of the pyramid? That it is your highest truth available for you, and it goes through that understanding of who you are for real, and embracing each one of your relatives as they are and who they are, and love them because you are love. Just love them because you understand that they are love too. They are divine just like you. See in each other that divinity. Look into their eyes, directly into their eyes, and you will see how that divinity is going to be revealed to you. And that is the real help that you can do for your loved ones, for yourself, for everywhere around you. It will get better. Choose a higher reality. Understand a higher reality. Embrace this part in you. Break that entitlement, that ego that it has been distorted your reality for a long time. And you will feel the liberation, the freedom that you have always been. And see that freedom that everyone else is. Don't cloud them, everyone, through rules and regulations, but allow them to use their heart and embrace and recognize their own heart. The heart, it can never be imposed those rules and regulations. And the heart is going to reveal itself for self. Let that heart be. Recognize this place in you where everything is bonded into one. I remind you that we do have the school online where people is making so much beautiful, beautiful, powerful spiritual work. You can find it in my website, magdalas.com. That is MAGDALAS.com. And we do have our app that it is blooming. It is everywhere now. and it is so beautiful. You can find it in your phone. It is called Messages from the Great Mother. Let let us know how are you doing. Keep on sending your emails and know that I love you so, so much. I am you. Tlatzocomate for being you. Tlatzocomate. Tlatzocomate.